Around 2 people in every 100 have a learning disability. How their disability affects their lives depends very much on how severe the disability is, but also what type of support and opportunities they have. What we do know from research is that people with learning disabilities experience a lot of inequalities. They are less likely to be independent than others of a similar age, have fewer opportunities to do enjoyable things, have fewer friends and social contacts, and find it much harder to find work, even if they're very keen to do so. These inequalities often result in them feeling and very much being segregated from society. So the question we are facing is, why are people with learning disabilities so often excluded, and what needs to happen to make them more included in society? People with learning disabilities say the biggest challenge they face is not their disability, but the fact that they often suffer bullying and harassment. 8 out of 10 people with learning disabilities are the victim of hate crime at some point in their lives, and most have to endure the sort of low-level abuse, teasing and name-calling that does not catch media or police attention, but has very negative effects on its victims. To illustrate this point, we'll now show you a clip from the film Tormented Lives. This is a documentary about abuse and harassment of people with learning disabilities that is sadly only too frequent in our country. In the clip, you'll hear Christopher talk about abuse he's experienced, but also his strong desire to be an accepted member of society and the many things he has to offer.
Someone who's living in the community and having real problems is Christopher Burke. He has a condition called hydrocephalus, more commonly known as water on the brain. This means he has a learning difficulty, and physically he does look different. It's made him a victim of constant hate crime, leaving him isolated, vulnerable and scared. Yet Christopher could read when he was 2, has 17 qualifications in IT and a passion for music.
Is computers. I can build them, repair them, program them, and I loved writing music for years now, except the problem I always had was mixing it, and Hastings being about 10 years behind the rest of the world, there are no music mixing classes for anyone over 25. So, believe it or not, I had to go to Shoreham, which is like 3 hours away. We had one lesson so far, and this is my first homework piece.
Every time he goes out, Christopher makes sure he has a pocket full of change. It's almost like paying protection money to people he knows just to get down the street.
Where have you just come from? Oh, just
As he walks by the beach, a man steps out and confronts Christopher. He asks him for money.
Please, come on.
This is a normal occurrence for Christopher, and he knows from experience that if he refuses, he'll be open to attack.
That's not the same people. Well, no, I'm not having it. That bloke with the orange beard, I asked you to give him three quid to get past him.
What's the matter, Chris? Is it making you scared?
No, it's nothing to do with that. It's just I just see myself spending my whole life here, and when I'm walking around things, the sheer frustration of it all just gets to me.
Christopher has, in the last 8 years, been rehoused 5 times due to abuse from his neighbours and people around him. After being burgled and intimidated in his previous flats, he was rehoused into sheltered accommodation. It's not ideal for Christopher, as all the other residents are elderly.
Hi.
Christopher,
Pleased
hello,
to meet you.
I'm Rosa.
Pleased to meet you.
How do you do? Thank you for letting me come and see you.
Okay.
Christopher, would you mind if I took off my shoes and sat,
Come on, sure. Come on,
curled
sure.
up? I'm
Yeah,
sort of
come on,
happier
sure.
talking that way. Is that all right?
So, yes, love the toenails.
Oh, thank you very much. Very observant. Thank you. How long have you lived here?
A year and a half.
So where did you live before that?
Before I was in St Leonard's. That area of St Leonard's is all drugs and alcoholics. While I was working in Seaview, I used to work in there voluntarily. Girl came in and shot boiling water all over me.
Ah!
That's both legs.
That is terrible.
It like that. That's after about 5 skin grafts.
Oh dear Lord.
That was 3 months in East Grinstead Burns unit.
What happened to your head there?
That was a couple of months, about 6 weeks ago. Bloke that outside cross cutters.
It's terrible.
And he had chunky rings on, and he just smacked my head with the chunky rings on. How I lost my teeth was, a bloke comes up to me and goes, "What's it like being a retard then?" And so I went to him. That's what I was about to ask you the same thing. And he pushed me, so I fell over, and he stomped my face with Doc Martens on.
Oh.
That's where the ones who run the riots everywhere used to live. I would just spack mow. They used to call me no good, stupid, retard, spastic. Why aren't you in a home? Why do you bother coming out here? And they used to kick me to bits. They used to punch me, and I'd sort of curl up in a little square, and they'd all be kicking me.
Christopher fiercely defends his right to live independently, but is keen to be a useful member of society.
And I feel differently if I manage to get a job.
It's not as if you haven't applied for jobs. You've applied for jobs.
Tons. Loads. There was a computer job I could have done with my eyes shut, and so I went straight in up the stairs and said I want to apply for a job in the window, and the blonde bulldog behind the counter went, "There's nothing for you in the window," and went, "Yes there is, I'll show you," and she went, "No, there's nothing for you in the window."
That's disgusting.
The job's gone now, of course, but
Yeah, but that's not the point.
and I tried applying for lots of jobs, and other people kept getting them.
He needs a break, we have to get Christopher a job. He's got so much to offer. He's got all these skills, and yet he's there, living in an old people's home, and he feels completely inadequate. It's got to change. And we need to find him a job. It's not as if he isn't capable. He's had jobs in the past. He still has fond memories of working in London and being part of a thriving community.
Nearly 30 years ago, I used to work in Quality Foods over there, carrying sacks of potato flour. That used to come off all over you, and if it was raining, you used to get coats fit in mashed potato, and you were going around scraping mashed potato off yourself.
As you have seen, Christopher is being tormented due to the way he looks, but he has the capacity to work and contribute to society. In fact, he'd very much prefer to do this rather than live in isolation. Government policies promote social inclusion, and yet research shows that there's still a lot of segregation. For example, children with learning disabilities often still feel very much shut out, even when they're in mainstream schools. We also know that while many members of the public hold very sympathetic and helpful attitudes towards people with learning disabilities, many of us often turn a blind eye to the type of harassment shown in the film. The key message is that unless we all take responsibility for bullying and harassment, people like Christopher will continue to be tormented on a regular basis. Thank you for watching. Please complete the short questionnaire that follows, and make sure you take the opportunity to leave your details for the prize draw as a way of us saying thanks for taking part. We will not store or use your details in any way other than for the prize draw.